Okay, so like anyone who follows F1 knows there's no room for error. You mess up even a little, and that can be the whole race, right?
Absolutely. Like, it's hundredths of a second that matter. And for a new driver, especially with the top team, the pressure must be insane.
Yeah, crazy. And that's exactly what we're looking at today. We're diving into Liam Lawson's first practice sessions with Red Bull.
Yeah, his debut weekend at the Australian Grand Prix, no less. Talk about trial by fire.
Exactly. So we've got reports from Friday's practice sessions, FP1 and FP2. And what we really want to do is understand what's it actually like for a rookie in a top-tier F1 car?
Yeah.
Beyond just the headline times, what are those immediate challenges, and how is Red Bull reacting?
Yeah, so let's get right into Lawson's performance. In FP2, his fastest lap put him in 17th. Now, the big thing here is he was over half a second slower than Verstappen, and they were both on the same tire compound, the soft tire.
Wow, half a second. That's a pretty big gap,
Yeah.
especially in F1. And earlier in FP1, he finished 16th, and the gap to Verstappen was even larger then, over 7/10 of a second.
Right, so not the start you'd hope for. And Lawson himself admitted to Sky Sports F1, he said he felt comfortable, just too slow, and that there's a lot of work to do overnight.
Yeah, sounds like he knows what he needs to improve, even if figuring out how is a whole other story.
Yeah,
But it's interesting because even Verstappen wasn't having the smoothest time.
right. Even the reigning champ was struggling with grip, apparently,
Yeah.
especially in the first and last sectors of Albert Park.
Yeah, he said the car's balance wasn't totally off and there weren't any like major problems, but that the grip just wasn't there.
And, this was with the RB21, sporting some new upgrades even, a new floor and everything. So it's not like the car was fundamentally broken.
Makes you think it was more about the track conditions or something,
Right.
or maybe the new tires.
Could be.
Yeah.
And Verstappen's overall assessment was pretty telling. He basically said, we're not really up there at the moment, so even the champ was finding it tricky. Which, maybe takes a little pressure off Lawson.
In a way, yeah. But of course, as the rookie, all eyes are on him. And Christian Horner, Red Bull's team principal, actually came out pretty strongly in Lawson's defense.
Yeah, he made a really good point that Lawson just doesn't have any experience at Albert Park. Apparently F2 hasn't raced there since before 2023.
Which is crazy. So Lawson is potentially the only driver on the whole grid this weekend who hasn't driven this track before. Talk about a disadvantage.
Right, it's like showing up to an exam without studying when everyone else has the past papers.
Exactly. And to add to that, Horner also pointed out that being Verstappen's teammate is probably the toughest situation for any driver in F1. Like you're constantly compared to the best.
No pressure, right? But Horner did say he believes in Lawson's mental aptitude and strength of character to handle it all, which, coming from Horner, is a pretty big vote of confidence.
Right. It sounds like Red Bull is in it for the long haul with Lawson. They're not just focused on this one weekend.
Yeah, that's interesting, especially when you compare Lawson to another rookie, Isack Hadjar, at Racing Bulls.
Oh, yeah. How did he do?
Well, in FK2, Hadjar actually finished 6th fastest, and he was only 0.2 slower than his teammate Tsunoda, which is pretty impressive for a rookie.
That is a huge difference compared to Lawson.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the key factor there?
Well, Horner himself pointed to track experience. He specifically mentioned that Hadjar raced at Albert Park in F2 in both 2023 and 2024.
Oh, so he knows the track well.
Exactly. So while both Hadjar and Lawson are F1 rookies, Hadjar has that crucial experience at this specific circuit.
Which really highlights how important track knowledge can be. It's almost like having a cheat code.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
And it explains why Lawson might be struggling more than we'd expect from a talented driver.
Right. It's not just about the general step up to F1. It's about learning a completely new track under immense pressure.
Exactly. But even with all that, Lawson himself admitted, I think if we knew that, we'd know how to fix it as well, when asked about the gap to Verstappen. So it seems like even the team isn't 100% sure what's causing it.
Yeah, that's F1 for you. Even with all the data and technology, sometimes the answer isn't clear-cut. And on top of that, the reports suggest that the gap to Verstappen could have been even bigger.
Right. Apparently Verstappen didn't even get a totally clean lap during his qualifying simulations, so who knows what the true difference is.
So much to unpack. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the main things we've learned about Lawson's debut?
Well, first off, it's clear Lawson is facing a big challenge here. His lap times are well off the pace, especially compared to Verstappen. And a big part of that seems to be his lack of experience at Albert Park.
But it's encouraging to see Red Bull supporting him. Horner's comments make it clear they believe in him. And even Verstappen had his issues, so it's not all on Lawson.
Right. The car itself seems to have some quirks, and the track conditions might be playing a role too. But the difference between Lawson and Hadjar really shows how crucial track knowledge is in F1.
Totally. So for anyone listening, this deep dive gives you a real behind-the-scenes look at what it's like for a rookie in F1. It's not just raw talent. It's experience and adapting to the car and the track, all under incredible pressure.
Exactly. And as we watch the rest of the Australian Grand Prix unfold, it's worth thinking about how much weight teams put on raw talent versus track experience.
Right. Is it better to have a driver who's super fast but doesn't know the track, or someone who's maybe a bit slower but has that track knowledge?
And how long does it take for a driver to truly master a new circuit and unlock their full potential? That's the big question.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how Lawson adapts and improves throughout the weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can he close the gap to Verstappen? Or will that lack of track experience continue to hold him back? Only time will tell.
For sure. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure. Always a good time.
And for everyone listening, make sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into the world of F1.
We'll see you then.
Bye for now.
See you later.